All right, Justin Jones is with us today to introduce a duo for the Atlas Life. April Gear.
April Gear and
Aaron
O'Malley.
Aaron O'Malley.
So their fiancés. They're getting married in June, actually.
Oh,
yeah. I didn't. You asked me a little bit about it. I forgot to bring that up there.
I would think that's an important piece.
Yeah. They're getting married June 30th, I think. So right after this contract that they've extended at Sutter Modesto with us. He is an ER nurse, and she's a med tele nurse, and they've just been awesome. They met a while back, and they've been traveling together for a long time throughout California, Washington, Oregon, kind of my West Coast crew. So
sounds like they both enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah,
California is a great place for them then.
Yeah, they hike all the time. They've got, if you go to their Facebook pages, they've got some amazing pictures.
Awesome.
They were just up in Alaska actually. One of their dads, I think her dad lives up there, and so they went up there and went on a fishing expedition that we helped out with. And
awesome.
And it was really cool. The pictures up there were amazing. You were up there.
I've been to Alaska, and I can only imagine. Like I would go back and go fishing in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like it was fantastic.
Yeah. You probably need some help. You don't know what you're doing.
I have no idea what I'm doing. You're absolutely right.
But it'd be so cool. The crab, like the crab baskets or whatever that it looked really fun. And yeah, they've been all over the Northwest and Oregon, Washington, California, some really cool places.
They sound like the perfect traveling pair, right?
They're fun. They've traveled with a lot of different companies, and they've just really fallen in love with Atlas, and it's been great. They've been super easy. So.
Awesome. Well, Jonesy, thanks for bringing them to me, and
I'm looking forward to seeing it. So.
Yeah, April and Aaron, welcome to the Atlas Life. You two are with Justin Jones right now. He's your recruiter. Tell me a little bit about what it's like working with Justin and how you guys connected the first time.
Well, I say Justin's really easy. This is probably our third company or fourth company.
Third, kind of fourth. We had one of our companies got bought by another one, so we ended up with a fourth. But he's definitely been the easiest recruiter to work for. Knows what we want and only brings us what we want. That's probably one of the better things is that, he doesn't bring us packages we don't want to, aren't going to be interested in, like a lot of other recruiters have in the past.
And he's pretty straightforward. He, I don't know, only contacts us when necessary, which we appreciate.
Yeah. So we don't need hand-holding. We've been doing this for a while.
Yeah. We've been traveling
no nonsense guy, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
So tell me about each of you. How did you start traveling? I don't know this at all. Like Jones didn't tell me any of this. So did you meet on the road? Where did you two meet? And how did that all work out?
We met in nursing school, but didn't get together until 2 years after nursing school.
Yeah.
A little bit, about 2 years after nursing school. So we were working. I had moved to Oklahoma for my first year of nursing from Portland, and then moved back, and we started hanging out again and ended up getting together. And then I decided we wanted to do something different, and took the dive into traveling. And
I think we both wanted to travel, but we just didn't want to do it like alone. We thought it'd be a lot more fun doing it together. So we both took the plunge. Yeah.
So then your entire traveling career then has been together. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you're in California right now, right?
Yeah. Yep. In Modesto.
How is that?
It's good. Modesto doesn't have a whole lot around it, but it doesn't have a whole lot in Modesto. But you're 2 hours from anything you could want to do. You're 2.5 from Tahoe. You're 2.5 from Yosemite. You're an hour and a half from the Bay. So there's nothing that is out of reach as far as the adventure aspect of traveling. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's a good central location.
So now there were some rumors probably a week or two back that Modesto was canceling all their travelers, and what actually happened with any of that?
They canceled half of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a new CEO at the hospital.
Mhm.
And I think they're just doing budgeting and looking at different departments and making their cuts. So they extended about 100 travelers, but then they canceled half.
Yeah,
So.
and pretty much all the cuts came to OR, PACU, their PCU, ICU. I think those are the big departments that I've heard of them canceling people in. I know I'm in the ER, and my manager was like, absolutely not, our budget's solid.
Yeah.
My
manager too, I work cardiac tele, and they're like, no, you're good. So we were really excited.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's good. Because I heard, because we've a lot of travelers there in Modesto. We've had quite a few. So, and there's quite a few that have been there and then left, and that we keep in touch with, or that are on contract with us now, that keep in touch with people that are there. So it was a scary time for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's a big travel, a lot of traveler usage in the Modesto area, both Memorial and at doctors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Kaiser uses a lot out here in Modesto, but it was a scary time for everybody because, I was talking with a lot of my friends that are under contract, and we were all kind of it happened when we were on our break in between contracts and we just extended. And so we were actually in Alaska when we heard that there were cancellations. So and we can't check our work email outside of the hospital. So we were scrambling, trying to get a hold of somebody in the hospital and trying to figure out what's happening.
Yeah. We're kind of like, we're not sure if we have jobs.
It worked out.
Yeah.
So tell me about the Alaska trip, because I saw the pictures. It looked fantastic.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. So my family lives there. They live in Ketchikan, and I just really wanted to go visit them because they're going to be moving soon. So I thought one last trip up there and take them out fishing would be amazing. So we found one guy in the whole town that would do a winter charter, and he was amazing. And we went out for a full day. It was so cold.
Yeah, it was like 9 hours. It was snowing the entire time.
Yeah.
I think the highest it got was 30 degrees out on the water.
It was probably a solid 20 the whole time.
And,
but we were out there catching salmon.
Yep.
We caught a lot of crab. One halibut. Yeah.
Didn't catch him.
How big was the halibut? Because when I was there and I watched him, we were there just last summer, and we watched him come in off the docks, and they were enormous.
So those are the monsters that the commercial guys get. Ours was like 13 pounds, so it wasn't that big, but
that's baby. It's a baby halibut.
Yeah. But we still get, we got like 10 pounds of meat off of it.
Mm-hmm.
They get up to 100, 150 pounds, and those things are just insane.
Yeah, they're monsters.
It looked like they were pulling dolphins out of the water.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So did you just go fishing? I mean, is that so? Are you from Ketchikan, or did you?
So I was a military brat, so I moved around a lot as a kid, which I think kind of primed me for traveling. But I was originally from Maine, but my folks, they moved to Ketchikan as their last kind of Coast Guard assignment, and they just stayed. So I lived there for a few years before I moved on. So.
Cool. Well, that's cool. You got to go up and visit then too. That's
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So then, now that you've been traveling for a little bit, you've seen a lot of stuff. Tell me, especially for newer travelers out there, give me the best part and give me the worst part.
Best part's the freedom. We have the opportunity to take a month off between contracts, 2 months off between contracts, or like we're getting married at the end of June, and we're taking a month off before the wedding and 2 months after, for honeymoon and whatnot. So, and with a staff job, there's absolutely no way that you can do that.
Yeah.
So I'd say best part is having that freedom to take the time off to do extracurricular traveling. Worst part, I'll let you.
Worst part, I guess probably for us is like we don't do the RV, we just rent, wherever we go.
Mhm.
So that can be tricky.
Housing
Sometimes,
is housing with a pet.
Yeah.
Is
We have a cat, so kitty comes, and that makes it a little bit more limited as to what we can rent.
Yeah.
So.
Have you sent me? So I'm sure you've seen Cats of Atlas.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
sent me- Did Joan send me that cat?
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it sounded familiar, but I wasn't sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's housing is definitely, I think, the biggest frustration of traveling, and there's no one place that's good at all for finding housing options. So that's we've kind of got it dialed in now. We have 3 or 4 apps that we use to find housing, plus Facebook groups, and the local travel nurse groups normally have some local people renting rooms or renting, mother-in-law suites type things.
That's probably where we find the majority of our places.
Yeah.
So if you had to give like one tip then on that, would that be it then?
I would use the Facebook housing groups, because there's, I think there's 2 main ones that we use. We use one from Gypsy Nurse Housing, and then Traveler Talk has some housing options as well. And then we're signed up, for this one, we signed up with the Modesto Travel Nurse Facebook.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of housing offers on that. So looking for those local Facebook groups for travel nurses always has landlords on it that are geared towards travelers and know kind of the life and what we're looking for.
Or actually where we're staying now, we actually, Aaron just sent an email out to his whole department, and we are actually just renting from another nurse. So we're in just a shared, it's a house, shared, private room. And she was okay with the cat situation. So that worked out best for us.
Yeah. The biggest tip I can give is use all your resources, and then be very careful with scams. Both on Facebook and Craigslist are notorious for housing scams. Never send money ahead of time, never prepay. We've prepaid for housing before through Airbnb, and that's okay because you have the Airbnb protection. There's been a couple times where I've contacted some people off of Craigslist or off of Facebook that said they had housing that were just very blatant scams, and I could see somebody else getting sucked into it just because of the frustration of finding housing. Then they just are like, okay, well, I found something, and they jump through whatever hoops the person throws at them.
I can see that, especially from a new traveler that might have that could have that issue. They decide, well, this is the way it is, right? And so
right.
Congratulations on getting married. So you said June, is that coming up?
June 30th. Yeah.
Awesome. Where any place fun?
Portland.
Okay.
Portland, Oregon.
Yep.
So Portland's home base for us. So my family's all in the Portland area, and most of her friends are in Portland. So
yeah, we rented. It's going to be in a barn, so it'll be semi outdoors and a park. So we're going to have a taco truck come cater, and it'll just be a really nice, good time.
Yeah.
A taco truck. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't love tacos?
It's Portland, so they're notorious for any kind of food on wheels. That's what they do. So
that is cool. Well, congratulations. That is great.
Thank you.
So then, last question, and this will be the hardest question I ask in the entire interview here is: so throughout your whole nursing career, travel career, everything, what's the one thing you think has taken you longest to learn?
Ooh,
that's a hard question.
It's not an easy question.
Yeah, out of your whole career, just as a nurse.
Just yeah.
As a nurse. Okay, so I'd say maybe it's more pertaining to traveler life, but just kind of learning the culture of your unit. Sometimes that's a little harder in some places, or any new job, just kind of adapting and learning the culture of where you're at, the people that you're with, how they operate. So I don't know, as travelers, we move to all kinds of different places, and we work with a lot of different people from a lot of different, areas, and sometimes it like language dialects can be different. For me, I guess that's probably been the biggest adjustment. Yeah.
I don't know. It's the hardest thing for me to learn as a nurse. One that I've constantly struggled with, and I hope all my other ER nurses will get it, is central venous pressure monitoring drives me absolutely crazy. Most hospitals don't do it anymore. But the hospitals that do, it's a nightmare to set up. I'm not an ICU nurse. I don't do that. And I always end up having to call ICU down to come set up the equipment, because I'm like, I don't know all these cords and what to do.
So I have no idea. Give me like the Cliff Notes version of what that would be.
Basically, it's if somebody needs to have, if you need exact monitoring of what somebody's blood pressure is, rather than doing the cuff, you put in a central line through the neck or through the chest, and then you hook it up to a special monitor that actually measures the pressure in the heart. And
it records it like every 5 minutes.
No, it records. It's continuous. It's continuous.
Okay.
But it's a nightmare to set up. There's like all sort, a bunch of different tubes, and there's a whole process that you have to do to get it like dialed in perfectly. And then if you have anything that's just a little bit off, it doesn't give you a right reading, and you have to have like the actual equipment like at the right level to the patient. And I never remember how to do it because I do it so infrequently. And so I just am normally like, whatever, I'm just going to call ICU. Like that.
I say that doesn't sound like an ER procedure.
We set it up and then ship them upstairs. So it's
Gotcha.
It's one that, if the doctors want it, we have to get it set up before we send them up. But it's a nightmare to get dialed in. So that's probably the one thing that I've never been able to actually get my head around setting up and doing is in the ER is CVP.
That's outside the ER. Let's go a little bit there.
I've had some unique answers to that question. That might be one of the most unique. Well, Aaron O'Malley, April Gear. Thank you so much for. I got it that time.
You got it.
Thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate it. Like I say this every time, and I really do mean it. Thank you for what you both do. I can't. I know I could not be a nurse, and so that's why I'm on this side. So thank you for what you both do. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you. And thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
And we'll see you out there on the road.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.